and now shake it, shake it, shake it. Get down, and now shake it, shake it, shake it. I'm laughing at this battle, watching boys and girls play games. Watch you as you slowly falter. Literally slippery steps. Rolling out of the yard, just gotta mask your own heart.
Welcome back to FNM TV. Thought we were dead? No, we're still here. I have been traveling around lately, so hasn't really been a lot of time to put FNM TV back in. A little bit of personal, and I'm also back in college, so it's going to eat up some time, but I stand committed. There's going to be one match for this week, and I will be uploading more next week, because the camera problems are solved also. Goblin Guide swung in, and top card was Liliana. 18 to 20. Passing turn. Patrick Holland seems to have a Inquisition in hand, more than likely a Mana Leak or a Doomblade, leaving 2 mana open. Right here, the smart play from Daryl would probably be just swing. Yep, top card is a Creeping Tarpit. Creeping Tarpit gets added to Patrick's hand. I'll pass the turn back over, electing not to cast anything. Patrick draws into a Dismember. So, clearly no shortage of land. It's not an issue. Flashing that delicious Mana Leak. And starting with an Inquisition. He's just going to show me, which looks to be a Bolt, a Shock, Galvanic Blast, and a Grim Lavamancer, I think, with 2 mountains. Which is the mountain in his hand. Now here I think the smart play would be to take the Bolt, seeing as it's additional damage on the board, and then you have Lavamancer, which can be countered if Patrick indeed does have the Mana Leak. Yep, there you go. And there goes the Bolt. Everything else is dealable. Black-blue control can wipe boards. 1 mana burn spells do hurt a bit over time, but it's nothing that the deck can't really handle. Getting ready to take damage. He's teetering peaks. Swings in for 4. Trigger. I will dismember, take 4 anyway, but get rid of the Goblin Guide. So I'm really worried about him doing in his hand that I want to counter, so I can deal with this. Grim Lavamancer comes on board. At this point, I believe Pat has a Drowned Catacombs in hand at some point, so at least that'll come into play on tap, adding another black source for him. And also, Daryl Cloran will Galvanic Blast Pat down for 2 more, bringing his total to, I believe, 14. No, to 12. Oh, Creeping Tarpit enters tapped. 3 mana to bring out a Jace Balerion, and Jace will net a card for Pat. These 2 guys working together. What a combination. Top deck into a Darkslick, more black sources, but sadly at this point they all enter tapped for Darkslick and Creeping. Teetering Peaks tap, removing 2 cards in the graveyard for Grim Lavamancer to do his damage. I'll pass turn on over, drawing into a Stoic Rebuttal and a Solemn Simulacrum. At this point, you could wipe the board of the Grim Lavamancer with a Black Sun, or you can bait 2 damage off onto a Simulacrum. So a Black Sun's End or Simulacrum is probably the play here. Judging by what it is, he's not going after the Jace, clearly, leaving it on board. So Black Sun for 1, clears off his creature. Daryl draws a land, plays a land. Burst Lightning. Kicked. So down to 6. Jace draw. Tectonic Edge, land for turn. Six mana to drop something onto the board. Fetch out the Simulacrum. The play probably here is to drop the Grave Titan. Being at 6 life, you want to get damage on board and try and end this game as quick as possible. Simulacrum doesn't do that. At this point, should be probably pulling the trigger on that Grave Titan. Oh, I'm going to pay 5 for a Liliana Vess. Force a discard. Discard a mountain. 2 will come in from Simulacrum. Dropping down to 18. Hand was very quick there when you drew that card. Itching you wanted to use it, and he will. Or he'll ditch a mountain. There is no 7 on a 6-sided dice. I have looked many times. Preordain. Grave Titan at this point would have just won it. I don't know why Pat isn't pulling the trigger on that Grave Titan. Trigger, land comes to hand, Doomblade comes out. Giving red deck more turns is not the correct play here, regardless of what you want to do with Liliana Vess. Pat tries to bait the shock onto his Solemn Simulacrum, but it doesn't work. And still not pulling the trigger on that Grave Titan. So many turns have gone by where it would just be over at this point. Burst Lightning. 6 mana still open, still can drop a Grave Titan. Still doesn't. Tectonic Edge is land. Take away 1 extra mana, so mana leaks apparently stay more relevant to the game. Not very much more, but it still plays semi. Paddle untap. Look, draw a card. Looks to be in the land. Land a Vessel, force him to discard. He'll shock. Mana leak. He'll pay. Mana leak again. And at this point, I don't know what he's searching for, because at this point, you already have game wrapped up in your hand. I mean, you have Grave Titan. Conceivably here, what's left in the deck is Consume the Meek, Karn, more of the same Simulacrums, land, and Consecrated Sphinx. You really don't want the Consecrated Sphinx at this point. Like, Karn at this point would probably be a little bit better, but you already have the Grave Titan in your hand, and Grave Titan at this point is a little bit better than that. I just don't know what's going on with this game. So, the choice is clearly going to be, for Patrick, a Consecrated Sphinx. Still a 4-mana untapped. 5-mana untapped. Debating going active with that Tar Pit finally. Well, Daryl's at 12 life, so it doesn't really do very much. Still 3 turns till death, no matter what. So keep the mana open. And passing it on over. Being at 2 life. So 10. And that's the scoop phase. Thank you for watching Game 1, FNM TV. This was filmed at Harrison's Comics and Collectibles, 252 Essex Street, Salem, Mass. There's that phone number there if you're in the Massachusetts area. Come on down to Salem, play with the guys. We'd love to see you. Modern, standard, draft, we do it all. Let us know. We'd love to play. Come on down and follow along.